all the news stories this morning regarding Newcastle United seem to be based on the transfer updates, and rightly so. Look, we're at that point in the window where Newcastle United are going to be linked with everybody in the footballing world. What I've done this morning is I've looked at the main news outlets and looking at what they're reporting this morning, rather than the clickbait and the rubbish that you also see on various different websites, because some of their stories are absolutely bizarre, absolutely incredibly crap, basically. But in this show, we'll possibly looking at En-Nesyri from Sevilla. Marcus Thuram looks like he's signing for Inter Milan despite being linked with Newcastle United. Tonali could be unveiled at the end of the week, hopefully Friday. Media reports are saying that Szoboszlai could actually be a replacement for ASM. Carl Darlow, his wages could be a little too much for championship sides, and also, according to L'Equipe in France, we're after another defensive midfielder. So let's take a look at it all. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul. Welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel and of course the Daily News Show. A lot to get through today. There's a lot of stories. Again though, I'm just focusing on the main news outlet ones, not the clickbaity crap. But before we do get started, if you do enjoy today's show, please give it the thumbs up. It is vitally important that we keep those likes coming in, so supporters like yourselves can find this channel and subscribe to us. If you are new and like what you see, hit that subscribe button. Come and be part of this community. It is free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Right, let's get cracking into the stories. And as you can see there, NUFC target Youssef En-Nesyri. Now, this guy played for Sevilla last season, scoring 18 goals in La Liga. He's definitely a decent player that I'm sure Alex mentioned in one of the transfer shows previously, but didn't actually highlight. I think he's highlighting them in a future show, so I'm not going to go too far into it. What I want to discuss about this is, do Newcastle United spend more money on a striker, or do they look at more priority positions? We know that left back is a position that we as Newcastle fans feel that needs to be strengthened. Now, does Eddie Howe feel the same? I don't know. I can't answer that for Eddie Howe. He will keep his cards close to his chest, of course. We are linked with many left backs, of course. Hernandez, for example, at AC Milan, Kieran Tierney, etc. So there is left backs being mentioned. So I do presume that we will, sometime over the summer, get another left back in. However, do we need another striker? Because obviously we've got Wilson there and we've got Isak. Now Isak, we know, can play various positions, but Callum Wilson, his injury record, I hate going on about it because he, despite his injuries last season, he walloped in loads of goals for us, and there's nothing to say he won't do that next season. But if we bring in another striker, that will kind of ease the pressure on Callum Wilson a little bit. He won't have to play every game. Isak will also play the majority of the season, I would expect, injury-free, hopefully. So do we need to bring a third striker in? Would you be happy if the club went out and brought in En-Nesyri? His goal-scoring record speaks for itself. Sevilla have stated that they are willing to listen to offers for the striker, so they are willing to sell him, if the price is right, of course. But do we spend more money on a striker before we bring in a left back or a right-sided midfielder, which we're still crying out for? So I don't know, guys. I don't know what to make of that story. It seems to be picking traction up that we are in the market for him. So what do you reckon? Would you go for a player like En-Nesyri, or would you focus the money on somewhere else in that starting 11? Now, if you're like me, you are itching for this announcement to be made on Sandro Tonali. When is he signing officially? When is it going to be made all official? When are we going to see him in Newcastle shirt, etc., etc.? Now, there is stories kicking around this morning that Tonali will be unveiled on Friday. Now, this is not definite. Again, this is just newspaper reports, so it's not 100% certain. Now, when he's eventually unveiled and announced by Newcastle United, we will once again on the Toon Review do a very special show based on Tonali. We'll take much more of a deep dive into the player and see what he is going to bring to Newcastle United. There is obviously social media unrest with some Newcastle fans thinking, come on, when's he going to be announced? What's gone wrong? Has something fallen through? My advice to you guys is don't panic. Of course, Botman last season, when you remember, it all went through. It was reported that everything was done. but we just had to wait a little bit longer while everything behind the scenes was sorted out, and then Botman eventually was unveiled to us. I think that's going to be the same with Tonali. Of course, the big wigs in the media world are reporting that everything is done. Contracts are pretty much signed, personal terms agreed, fees agreed between the clubs. There's no reason to panic here. Tonali is going to be a Newcastle United player. However, we just need to wait for the club to announce it. Now, it could be that, of course, Friday is the 1st of July, start of some FFP years, financial years, things like that. That all has something to do with it as well, I would expect. So probably Friday or certainly over the weekend, I think you'll see an announcement from the club regarding Tonali. But again, whenever it happens, guys. But it's very exciting. We'll just have to wait that little bit longer before he's officially named a Newcastle United player. Now, one player who was heavily linked with Newcastle United, mainly probably over last summer and the previous winter transfer window, was Marcus Thuram. Not so much this summer. I think, during the transfer shows that we've done, a lot of fans have mentioned him, but there doesn't seem to have been many media reports mentioning Marcus Thuram linked with Newcastle United. It's a bit of a shame because I think he's a wonderful player, and it was led to believe that mainly linked with Newcastle United because of his friendship with Alan St-Maximin. He came up in the youth system with him, and the possibility of those two playing for Newcastle United was what made the media really look at and say, yeah, this could be a potential link. Could Maxi have anything to do with Marcus Thuram coming to Newcastle United? It doesn't look like that's going to be the case because reports this morning are saying that Marcus Thuram is heading off to Inter Milan. A wonderful signing for Milan. He's going to be playing in Serie A. But as you'll find out in the next story, is Maxi heading out there as well? Now, all these Maxi stories are based on a certain Dominik Szoboszlai coming in for Newcastle United. The report I've read this morning basically says that he could be a replacement for ASM because Maxi is now no longer happy at Newcastle United. I don't know where they've got this from that he's not happy. Of course, we've heard so many people saying yes, he's happy, or no, he's not happy. Was the Instagram post a goodbye, etc.? We'll never bloody know until something actually happens with St-Maximin. The stories on Maxi have been quite quiet over the last week or so, to be honest. When the window first opened, before the window opened, there was a lot of speculation about what that post was on Instagram. Is he looking for another club? Now, the report suggests that Szoboszlai may well be a replacement for Maxi because Maxi is wanted by AC Milan and Maxi apparently wants to go. I think this would be a wonderful deal. If Maxi does go, who better to bring in than Dominik Szoboszlai? This guy is an absolute talent. He's world class in my opinion already. 22-year-old, captain of Hungary. The guy is a baller. There's no doubt about that. Is he as exciting as Maxi? Absolutely. Is he better than Maxi in certain things? Absolutely. I think he's certainly better in the final third than Maxi is at the moment. So Maxi to AC Milan would make sense for me. The report is suggesting that we'd use that money from selling Maxi to put towards Dominik Szoboszlai. Now, of course, we've got to be careful of FFP. We know that. We know that plays a huge part in anything we do during the summer. It's going to be looked at very closely by the higher authorities, etc. But would you sell ASM to AC Milan to bring in Dominik Szoboszlai? I think I pretty much know the answer from a lot of viewers out there. But there will be those Maxi supporters that say, no, we want to keep him at the club. So let me know in the comments, would you keep Maxi or would you sell him if it meant that we can put some of that money towards the Szoboszlai deal? Because, quite frankly, I would absolutely love Szoboszlai at Newcastle United. I think he would complete the transfer window for us, even if we didn't get a bloody left-back. Going forward, the attack would just be immense. But let me know what you think. Karl Darlow seems to be moving on in the summer. I think all Newcastle fans would realise that. He spent the last part of last season on loan at Hull City, and they are one of the clubs that are interested in him. It seems like the Championship will be his destination. Jon Dahl Tomasson, former player at Newcastle United, of course, now manager of Blackburn Rovers. He's interested in Karl Darlow, as is Michael Carrick down at Middlesbrough. We've always said that Middlesbrough could be a good fit for Karl Darlow, but the problem is Mr. Kessler, I think his name is, vice chairman at Hull City, has said that the wages are going to be a problem because the second tier sides simply can't afford Karl Darlow's wages. Now, I think Karl Darlow has to be sensible here and realise that he's probably not going to get the same money he's getting at Newcastle. There's just no doubt about that. He will probably have to take a pay cut. Is he willing to? That is a different question. Now, Newcastle United could say to Karl Darlow, right, we'll loan you out again for a season. We'll take care of some of your wages in order for that to fit. That would seem to be the best way forward. And then, of course, he's out of contract, I believe, at the end of next season, and he can leave on a free. However, we've said this a million times about players leaving. Do they want to actually go and fulfill their football careers, or do they want to just get the money in the bank? We've said a million times, if we were footballers, what would we do if we had the chance to earn so much money sitting on our asses doing nothing? Or would we want to go and play football? I don't understand anybody who doesn't want to go and play football, who's in a privileged position to do this as a job. So Karl Darlow, for me, I think if he wants a permanent transfer, he's going to have to take a pay cut, or a loan deal with Newcastle United covering some of his wages may be the option ahead. And finally, do we need another defensive midfielder? According to L'Equipe in France, we are after Monaco's Youssouf Fofana. And I don't know how much traction this has got, guys, because I don't really know if we need another one. Not after the signing of Tonali, with Bruno being there as well. We got Sean Longstaff who can play that position. I don't think we need another defensive midfielder. Having said that, we're going to be playing a lot of games next season. We're going to be in various different competitions. So the squad needs to be of a higher quality. And certainly Fofana would fit that quality. Now, for me, like I say, I don't think that we want to go and spend money. Again, like the En-Nesyri situation, do we need to spend money on a striker or a defensive midfielder now when we're crying out for a left back to come in or a right-sided midfielder? I really don't know how we'll stand on this. Yes, we need to improve the squad, but if we're buying the same sort of players, I don't understand that. Now, this has come from L'Equipe, so obviously it hasn't come from anywhere over here. This is a French reporting that Newcastle United have signalled an interest in the player. But I don't think it has any traction. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that bringing in another defensive midfielder is the answer for where we're going next season? Do we have too many defensive midfielders? Because I just don't know where he fits, to be honest. But hey, I don't. Eddie knows best, and if they want to go for another one, then so be it. Fofana's a quality player. He's had a very, very good season at Monaco this year. So he certainly, if we signed him, I wouldn't be objecting to it. I'm just saying, where do we stand on FFP with bringing in a left back? Because I think we really need to target that position. But there you go, guys. That is the daily news for today. Let me know in the comments below, as usual, what you think of all the news stories today. And, of course, if you have enjoyed the show, please do give it a thumbs up. We really do need to stay up there in the search results in YouTube. And, of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. It is completely free to do so. Come and join this wonderful community on the Toon Review. And also hit that notification bell, which will let you know when we go live and we upload any videos. You can donate to the channel if you do so wish by hitting the thanks button, which is just along from the like button, which will enable you to donate to the channel when we're not on air. And of course, you can become a member and help the channel out each month, as well as be in for loads of prizes by hitting the join button just underneath this video that I'm doing right now. But there you go, guys. Tonight, if you're watching this on the Monday, we do have another transfer show tonight. We've got a cracking week coming up. We've got watch-alongs. We've got a special guest on Tuesday night. Adam Pearson is coming on to talk about the transfer window and all things Newcastle United. So a great week coming up, guys. Don't miss it, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.